Welcome to the Marketing on the Move podcast, hosted by the Breezy Company, your go-to resource to master your marketing while juggling all of the demands of being a business owner. We understand that your time is a limited resource and marketing might be the last thing on your priority list right now. Our mission is to provide you with tangible insights and actionable tactics into the latest marketing trends, best practices, and strategies that you can implement no matter how busy you are. Each episode is designed to offer practical advice on leveraging your unique business strengths and efficiently managing your marketing strategy. Whether you're tuning in during your morning commute, between meetings, or while on the run, Marketing on the Move is here to empower you with the knowledge and tools you need to excel in marketing, even when your schedule is packed. Join us for a journey into making the most of your marketing efforts, no matter how busy you are. Welcome back to the Marketing on the Move podcast. We're so excited to have you here. My name is Savannah, and I am the co-founder and partner here at the Breezy Company. I also have our Chief of People and Accounts, Emily Hunter, with me, as well as our special guest, Shawn Hunter, who is the founder of Mindscaling. We're really excited to have you, Shawn.
Thanks so much. Psyched to be here. Psyched to be with you and my long-lost cousin, Emily. I'm just joking. I don't think we're related.
Well, Shawn is not only the founder of Mindscaling, he's actually a current Breezy Company client. And I actually get the pleasure of working on his company's content. So get to work with Shawn a lot and love him, love working with them. Shawn, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background as a business owner and entrepreneur, and kind of how you
Sure.
got to where you are?
Oh, I started in this world. So I work in the world of e-learning and online learning and this, what was previously called distance learning. And it's all soft skills. So it's all about leadership and communication and diversity and innovation and design thinking. It's not compliance content. It's more like human skills, like how do you interact, how to be a better human. And my first company, I started way back in the 90s with my father. And what we were doing is we were recording content in television studios and digitizing it and then distributing it online. And we, in fact, sold that company to another gigantic e-learning company. It was Skillsoft. It was a company called Skillsoft, which maybe your listeners have heard of. And I worked for them for a long time. And then I wanted to start a new company because I just thought I could improve. I could move it to the next generation. All these different contacts and people that I'd been interviewing for years and years, we could do a better job of presenting their content in context that accomplishes the goal. And the goal is behavioral change, like people actually change how they listen, how they interact, the way they ask questions. So that's what I've been working on for years now. And so the new company is called Mindscaling, and I'm really grateful we found you.
How did Mindscaling actually get started? Like you kind of just gave a little bit of, you wanted to, you had a previous company, you wanted to start something else, but how did Mindscaling actually like come to fruition and how did it kind of grow to where it is now? I mean, you have a team now, you have some really great clients you've been working with. How did all that, the evolution of that kind of happen?
So this is, about 8-9 years ago or so, and I was working at Skillsoft, and my team was responsible for creating all of the leadership solutions content. And I, during that time period, as part of my work, I wound up interviewing all these different CEOs and entrepreneurs and best-selling authors and really interesting people. And I thought, well, we could present their content in a micro-learning way, in fact, now kind of a nano-learning way, in a compressed format that would engage the learner in a new way. So in fact, myself and the lead instructional designer at that organization, we got together and we founded Mindscaling. And it's hard. I mean, it's really hard and exciting to create a new company and do something new and kind of jump off that cliff. But
Yeah.
I have that interest, that kind of sort of entrepreneurial spirit, like a willingness. And I mean, I do see risk, but mostly I see opportunity. I see a chance to make an impact, make a difference, connect with new organizations. So right now in our collaboration with Breezy, we're really focusing our solution on a particular market. Like, for example, we're going after the small and medium-sized businesses. These are organizations that may have only one, maybe two in their HR and employee development division,
Right.
and they're trying to make an impact with maybe new employees and onboarding or their managerial development or their team skills so that they can get a similar vernacular across the organization. And this
Mhm.
is where like Mindscaling fits perfectly because we have continuity of content and a wide range of
Yeah.
portfolio of content to make a big impact
Yeah.
for a small budget and a small organization. So
Yeah.
it's fun to thrive in that space.
And you guys, the unique thing about you too is that you can work in all different kinds of systems and you actually work in the flow of work. So it's not like, hey, take an hour, once a month and go do this training that you're going to forget 10 minutes later. It's these 5-minute little courses and it's like, oh, I need an answer to this right now. Oh, I can go watch this and it'll help me, get ready for this meeting I have in 10 minutes. It's
Yes.
actually like preparing people in the moment for what they need.
The reason you can articulate that so well is because that's what you do. You understand your customers very well. You can distill their message. You can compress it. You can make it highly compelling. You can put it in multimedia. This is why, in fact, we're collaborating. I think, has it been a year?
I think so. Close to it, if not quite at. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And
Close to it.
And I just remember I was having a conversation with one of our chief officers here. I was coming back from Quebec. I was on a ski thing, and we were on the phone and we are kind of discussing strategy and next steps. And I said, look, we really gotta get on board with these Breezy people. We because I just had the vibes were all right. I mean, I thought if they can do such a clear job of articulating their own message about how they
Mhm.
get it out into the world, how they work with your clients and the organizations you work with, and compress and distill and articulate and create value and content in kind of a non-salesy way, but are really developing a rapport and a relationship. I was like,
Mhm.
we need to collaborate with these people, and that's why, of course, we're still collaborating
Yeah,
because you do great
absolutely.
work.
Oh, well, we didn't bring you on just to sing our praises, Sean, but we sure do appreciate
Well,
it.
sure.
I know. Far be it from me to interrupt the compliments, but you spoke to, there being some difficulties along the way of starting up with mind scaling. So could you talk a
Yeah.
little bit about some of those challenges and then the solutions that you came up with as you were building the company?
Well, there's a variety. One of the old stories that I used to tell, and in fact, I wrote a chapter in a book about this concept, and the idea is that as an owner, as a CEO, as I felt like historically, I needed to be involved in everything.
Mhm.
Everything, the
Mhm.
production, the design, the marketing, the sales meetings, the platform, like chief bottle washer, and it was a little bit, it was to my own detriment and it was to the detriment of the people in the organization because in fact the way I learned this was I was late for a team meeting. I was like dropping off a child at school or something, and I was late. And I said, "I'm really sorry. I'm late. What have I missed?" Or I'll just sit quietly and listen. And basically, they said, "Well, we haven't done anything because we're just waiting for you to show up." And I thought, "Well, I'm becoming a handicap. Like I'm like a
Mhm.
bottleneck. Like because I've given off this vibe that I need to be involved in everything,
Yeah.
right down to like the legal writing of contracts and stuff. And
Yeah.
so the lesson for me was, you're hiring fantastic people.
Mhm.
Give them latitude, give them grace, give them autonomy, set them free. And of course, they're going to do it differently than you would. That's the whole point. The
Yeah.
point is that they will do it differently and they'll bring their own expertise and creativity to it. So that was one thing is, getting myself out of the way. And then the second thing I'll just mention was in starting a new organization, we had to quickly like generate content because we're looking at just like you, we're in a content generation business.
Right. Yeah.
We're making learning materials, we're making videos and e-learning and live courses and workshops. We're making lots of content, and I always felt like we needed to get to a critical mass of content. We had to have like sort of a library of content until we could demonstrate to the marketplace that we really had escape velocity. And I looked around one day, this is a few years ago, and I was like, I think we're there. I think we really
Yeah.
do have the right diversity of content, the great right kind of portfolio. I think, if anyone looked at us, yeah, we've got depth in our library. And sure enough, it was true, but it took a while to understand that, to sort of come into our own confidence. So
Yeah.
you have to sort of step into not just starting an organization, but like owning it, like owning
Yeah.
mentally, like, yeah, we really have what it takes to deliver on this promise.
Kind of speaking of that, what do you feel like to this point has been what you're most proud of that you guys have accomplished as a business? And, obviously everybody says being profitable or hitting certain revenue metrics or whatever, those things are great, but what are some other things that you're really proud of that mind scaling is and like kind of is in the marketplace?
I'll say this, which is when we started creating content, because again, we have to keep making more content and demonstrate like we're publishing regularly high quality content on a diversity of subjects, and then we present that with a sense of humility to these big organizations that we want to partner with, and
Yeah.
and they'll evaluate it and they'll be, yeah, this is fantastic, we'd love to partner with you. And then the more we started doing that, we go across the industry and to big, Fortune 1000 organizations. And consistently, they'll say, yes, yes, we want to partner with you. Yes, we see that you've demonstrated like the highest, user rating across the board. So I don't know why it's not that I'm surprised that we got there, but I do take it with a sense of humility and a sense of like continuous growth and get better and
Hmm.
better. But to demonstrate that, to see that the user base inside this platform or that platform, in fact, specifically, I'm talking about organizations like Cornerstone and Degreed and Open Sesame and Go One. And basically, these are
Yeah.
organizations inside our industry. And our content across the board among their users is rated super high. And
Yeah.
so that gives us like street credibility. So
Right.
when other organizations see us, they're like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of you. Yeah,
Yeah.
we know what you
That's
do.
awesome.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, come on
Yeah.
in."
That's awesome.
Well, and that's a great segue too, because I was just about to comment on, it's one thing to have this really great product, have this really high quality video that you're putting together for your clients, but what role would you say has marketing played in getting you from where you started to kind of where you wanted to be at this point?
My answer to this is, and I'm invoking the great Peter Drucker, if you're familiar with like management theory. So Peter Drucker was a management theorist and writer, and famous in this world. And he used to always say, um, innovation and marketing, innovation and marketing. Everything else is a cost. If you do
Hmm.
something remarkably innovative and you're inside your garage and nobody knows about it and it doesn't see the light of day, well then so what? You need you need to do something remarkable and you need the world to know about it, and everything
Hmm.
else is a cost. And I take that seriously. Like, you need to take your marketing activity seriously, in that you're demonstrating to your audience, for those who are interested, that you're creating value, you're giving ideas, you're giving solutions, you're giving ways to solve their problem, that are novel or new or easier or more frictionless than they've done previously. So
Yeah.
so it's the combination of those two, and then of course there's tons of other stuff that goes along with it, like logistics and overhead and sales, and but those two things to me are really key:
Yeah.
innovation, great product, and marketing and visibility in an honest and authentic and way that connects with your
Yeah.
your end user.
You kind of already started to answer my last question for you, so I'll frame it just a little bit differently. I wanted to ask you if you're talking to other business owners. I know you know a lot of other business owners yourself, but for any, we have a lot that listen to this. That's kind of our main demographic. what advice would you give to them if they haven't invested heavily in marketing yet, if they haven't taken the plunge at all? They don't have really any significant online presence, they don't have any significant marketing investment yet. What are kind of some places that you feel like business owner to business owner that you feel like are most worth it, or the advice that you would give to them?
Well, I'm thinking of this insight from my friend Steven Shapiro. He's a innovation and design thinking expert, and he's drummed it into my head that many entrepreneurs or content producers or business owners create a solution and then they want to sell the solution. Like this, you need this. This is this thing that I made is, look at this. It's relevant to your life. You need
Yeah.
this. But the truth is, only your customer decides if you are relevant.
Yeah.
You don't get to decide.
Yeah.
You do not get to decide if you are valuable, useful, or relevant. Only your customer decides that. And once you respect that and understand what it is that you're offering, that they do respect and want and find relevant, then you're getting closer to the flywheel of innovation and design thinking and that deep sense of design empathy to create something that's better and better and better and suits the interest of your end user. So again, you, the business owner, you don't decide if you're relevant. Only your customer does.
And they can only decide that if you're in front of them and if you actually show them that you could be relevant to their life through storytelling and, like you mentioned, authentic, valuable, in my opinion, content that's in front of them, because they can't possibly know if you're the solution to their problem if you're not showing them that you could be.
Amen. Amen.
Well, Shawn, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. You're truly one of our favorite people to work with, and Mindscaling is doing such awesome stuff. Really appreciate your time and chatting with us today.
Very grateful. Nice to chat with both of you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Marketing on the Move podcast. Be sure to tune in next month for another great episode. See you then. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Marketing on the Move. If you're looking for more ways to improve your marketing and build a scalable system to help your business grow, check out thebreezycompany.co or any of the resources linked in today's show notes.